Hello, this is Matthew. Attention YouTubers, all YouTubers out there, and this is going to be my review of the brand new movie, or at least a week old movie, of Zack Snyder's vision of The Watchmen, the famous graphic novel or comic book series from 1986 to 1987 that was recently made on the big screen, and I have a little review for you guys, so I hope you enjoy. YouTubers, hey, it's Matt. If you saw the introduction to this video, as you know, this is going to be the movie review for the long-awaited movie Watchmen, directed by Zack Snyder. The book, created in 1986, ran through 1987 as a 12-part comic series by Alan Moore. And I know this is a little late, came out last week, but I saw it last week and it kind of took me a week to maybe let the movie marinate a little bit to get a better idea, to give you guys as much information as I can about the movie. And here it goes. I'll make this as brief as possible. I'll give you my overall review or a synopsis of the movie, then give you the pros, give you the cons, that'll be it. So, basic idea of the movie is that the movie starts out with a superhero, in a sense, being murdered by an unknown person. The person who was murdered was Edward Blake, and also known as the comedian. And basically the whole movie follows this another superhero called Rorschach, who is the only last masked vigilante superhero left in the city of New York. Now, to preface everything I'm saying, the movie takes place in a parallel United States or parallel world in 1985 where Richard Nixon's still the president. There's nuclear war on the horizon between us and Russia, and there's been a ban on superheroes and vigilantes called the Keene Act. If you read the book, it gets more into the actual Keene Act and the idea about superheroes, how they're basically been banned and disbanded and they're not allowed to have them anymore, except for a few who have been hired by the government as assassins and things of that sort. And the two people that were hired by the government are the comedian, who was an operative who's worked in Vietnam and he's worked in other countries to basically just go in and murder people. And then you also have Dr. Manhattan, who's essentially the only person in the entire movie or book who has any superpowers, because he was involved in a nuclear mishap, and basically he just became, for lack of a better term, he became Superman, to say the least, because he can do pretty much anything he wants. So to continue with the actual synopsis of the movie, this follows Rorschach, who's trying to find out who killed Blake and who's trying to kill superheroes, and in doing so basically sets all these events into motion. And not to give too much away, you have people that who were hiding from being superheroes become superheroes once again, and the movie ends on a downer. But that could be up for debate whether it ends on a downer or not, because the ending of the book and the ending of the movie are very similar, but the characters kind of take different directions in how they come to the means to an end in the overall movie and everything. So that's all I'm really going to say about the movie and everything like that. Now I'm going to give you my pros and cons. The pros of the movie is that it stays extremely loyal to the book, as loyal as you're going to get, considering this was a comic book that seemed too ambitious that nobody could ever direct. It was too big, it was too massive, and Zack Snyder, who also did 300 and he did Dawn of the Dead, did a great job. He kept with the source material, changed a few things that kind of piss off people who read the book and everything like that. But to the layman who never saw the movie, you probably wouldn't have a problem with it, because going into the movie you don't really have an idea. You maybe have an idea, but you're not going to gripe about small little things that get changed. I don't mean small by small, because some people may get pissed off at this review saying, oh, it's not small. But okay, just for sake of argument, it's small enough not to be too pissed off about it. Another pro is that Rorschach has to be the best character in this movie, if not one of the best comic book characters created probably ever since Michael Keaton did Batman back in '88. He plays the character great. He plays the character like he should be. In the movie, he gets it takes Rorschach into more of a sociopathic path, because it shows him that he's more of a crazy, even though he is crazy in the book, it shows just how crazy he actually is in the movie, and it fleshes his character out as much as you possibly could for this person. Other than that, I like Dr. Manhattan. I thought Billy Crudup did a great job of playing Dr. Manhattan. It's a character that you feel sorry for, but at the same time, I don't know. You feel sorry for the character because he's misunderstood. He's being used by the government, but he plays it great. Again, no problem with him at all. Cons. Well, I'll give him one more pro. The opening kind of montage of how superheroes came to be when it came from the Minutemen all the way to the Watchmen from 1940 to 1985. I think is a great montage. You really get a feel of the era that you're in the 80s. You're going all the way from the 40s to the 80s. I thought it was fabulously done. So people say, oh, it's too long of a credit sequence. It didn't seem long at all. It was a great credit sequence. Alright, now for the cons. Whereas I talk about, I didn't talk about the comedian, but I like the comedian. I like Dr. Manhattan, and I liked Rorschach. I wasn't a big fan of Night Owl 2 and Silk Spectre 2, who were Patrick Wilson and Malene Ackerman. I wasn't a big fan of their performances. I wasn't a big fan of them in the book either. I thought they were, I mean, I guess they're supposed to be the epicenter of the entire story anyway, but I don't know. There was just something about them that they weren't interesting to me. They weren't, the acting was okay, but it was just like an to me, acting-wise. Another con is that if you're walking in this movie expecting 300, don't be disappointed when you don't get it, because this isn't 300, and as much as they've been marketing this movie as from the visionary director with 300 and everything like that, don't go in there thinking, I like 300, I'm going to like this movie, because you may not. It's almost 3 hours long, which isn't a big deal to me because I like comic movies. But the fact that it's almost 3 hours long, there's portions of the movie that are full of dialogue and full of exposition. People are going to be turned off by that. But when you do get your violence, you get your violence aplenty. There's plenty of great violence in this. It stays true to the book. Rorschach is the most violent out of everybody. And they got Dr. Manhattan blowing up people, which is great. And of course you got the comedian shooting kids and pregnant people, which is also entertaining, I guess you could say. Other than that, out of 5 stars, I guess I'll give this movie 3. It's not my favorite comic book movie. It's probably one of the most technically best directed comic book movies. You're not going to get a better directed comic book movie, I don't think, maybe compared to The Dark Knight technically wise. But staying true to the book, it was great. Everything else was just kind of like, it's not like I said, I would watch Iron Man over this movie again, or I would watch The Dark Knight over this movie again, maybe even Spider-Man 2 over this movie again. This is kind of one of those movies where you see once, you may not need to watch it again for a while, and when you do watch it, if you don't go in with a working knowledge of the idea of the story, you're going to be thinking about it, and a lot of people don't like to think after they see their movies, especially comic book movies, because it's supposed to be an escapist film as opposed to a deep meaning theological film. So that's about it. Thanks for watching the review. I hope it didn't go too long. If you got feedback, send me feedback, but send me constructive feedback, because I kind of get tired of people saying, oh, this sucks, because I know people are going to say that, but you know what, my reviews suck, my reviews suck. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later on. See you later.